Good day, my loves. Good day, good day, good day. I hope you guys are well. I am sending you peace of mind tenfold, okay? And love still in your heart. I know you've been through a lot, but you can still, you have to have love still in your heart. You can't have your heart cold. Why? Because then you're going to treat yourself cold. Seriously, that's how it works. You're going to treat yourself cold. Spiritual journey is about getting rid of not getting rid of, because you can't get rid of it because it's imprinted on you, but managing your trauma, healing your trauma. Okay? When we get wounded, we have to heal that wound. And once we heal, we can run, we can jump, we can do everything we was doing before, but we still had that scar, right? Same thing with your spirit, same thing with your heart. Okay? Spiritually Savage here, my loves. I am sending you peace, love, and abundance. We calling in abundance this time. You know, we definitely want healing. We always want healing, but we call that in. Now it's time to get our just rewards for the process that we took on, okay? But I was cleaning out my tub. Did I forget the message again? This been happening too frequently, and I don't particularly care for it. And I can't even remember. And it was right there before I started talking and telling you stuff. But I was cleaning out my tub anyway. I'm about to take me a bath. And I was just sitting here like just thinking and pondering. Man, I swear I need to have a recorder on me because these thoughts be so monumental. And it was just healing. Just healing. I don't even know what I was going to say. Don't you guys hate that? Give me back my thoughts, please. Thank you very much. They're not yours. They're mine. Thank you. I take that back. Boom. Give it back. Anywho, I hope you guys are well, okay? I'm just touching base with you all because I had like a revelation, but maybe it was just meant for me. That's why I can't remember it. It didn't happen to me 3 times today, but I was able to remember what I had forgotten just then. It's like if I don't do it right then and there, it's like it goes out of my head because my mind is like going. Anywho, I'm sending you guys love. Okay. I'm sending you guys some love, okay? Because we all need it. We all need it. Oh, that's what it was. Because I was sitting there, and of course I was giving myself a pep talk because I'm like, divine timing, right? And I remember in the beginning, and even before I was on this path, hold on, I gotta go check my tub. Even before I was on this path, y'all, right? People used to say things like divine timing. And I'm like, okay, well, when is divine timing gonna be my time? Okay? Especially when you're waiting on something, right? You waiting for something to manifest, or you waiting for a job, or you waiting for this, or you waiting for your dream, whatever the case may be, right? And the people on the outside of us always say things like, oh, divine timing. Oh, when God says so, it will be. Things like that, right? And it used to irritate me because I didn't understand what divine timing meant. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand. I overstood it because that meant I wasn't in control. Somebody higher up was in control, so I needed to surrender to that. But it still never clicked because I didn't know what divine timing is. So this is just an easy breakdown of what divine timing is when people say that. Okay, so for an example, you trying to manifest a boo, a car, a house, or whatever, right? And you want it, like most humans, like me, we want it now, okay? We want it now. We wanted it like yesterday, okay? But say it's a husband, or even say if it's a house, both those two things, or a wife, whatever you may be, whatever you're looking for, okay? But in order for God to bless us, because those are blessings, to be living in abundance, to have a counterpart that truly understands you and loves you and supports you and is loyal to you and is not out there philandering and doing all that, that's a blessing, right? That's a blessing. You can count that as a blessing. Having a house that you can live in and you can afford and it has all the amenities and the luxuries, that's a blessing, right? Because just like we used to tell our children, The law say, well, I used to say, I don't know about y'all, but I used to tell my nieces and nephews, the law said we had to feed you. It didn't say we had to feed you crab legs and taking you out to eat at restaurants. It didn't say that. You could be sitting at home eating this when they was being ungrateful. Okay, so I had to pull this out because that's what the law said. The law said we had to feed you and shelter you. Be grateful. Okay, so say you're trying to manifest those two things: a husband or a wife, or your house or your dream car. But what if you don't have the tools to maintain those things? So what if you get that husband, but because you are unhealed and because you have childhood trauma that you're not even aware of, let alone, because in order for to heal it, you have to be aware of it. You're not aware of it, so you're repeating generational curses and life cycles, and you don't even know why. You don't even know why. It's because there's a part of you that hasn't been healed, right? Okay. And say you get the car. I mean, you want that house, but you don't have the tools to maintain that house. Because when you get a house, it's not like an apartment. It's not like you just have like three main bills, like your rent or your mortgage, and then you have your light and your water or your gas or whatever. It's not like that. There's maintenance to a house. There are taxes to a house. You see what I'm saying? And if you live in a cul-de-sac, then you have fees associated with that, association fees, things of that nature. But you got that, and you was unaware that you had unhealed trauma. You was unaware that there was taxes that are due once a year, and your taxes go up, and you know all that stuff, and the market fluctuates, which means you can lose value in your house. If you bought your house for $200,000, and the market take a dump, and your house is only worth $90,000, you know those are things that you have to be prepared for. You have to have the tools to deal with them. But what if you didn't have the tools to deal with your new wife or your new husband and your new house, right? What if you didn't have those things because you was unaware, you didn't know? And so you get into that marriage or you get into that relationship, and he's a good man and she's a great woman, okay? And they're loyal to you. They are loyal. They're not out stepping on you. They're not doing any of that. Okay? They support you in your dreams. They encourage you. They're not jealous of you. Your dream spouse, your dream counterpart, right? But you, on the other hand, haven't dealt with your trauma. And so because you was raised by a narcissist, or because you were abused mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you lash out, okay? Or you're needy, or you have what I used to call separation anxiety, but it's not separation anxiety, okay? Or you have anger problems because you wasn't heard as a child, and you was hushed as a child, and you was raised during the time when it said children should be seen and not heard, okay? Which meant that they quoted your voice. So you grow up as an adult unable to speak because you don't know how to intelligently speak your emotions out because you were stunted at 5 years old, at 6 years old. So you recreate those scenarios and you act out. And as a kid, it was more acceptable. As an adult, it's not acceptable. And if your counterpart is healed, he's not going to accept that much longer, no matter how loyal he is to you, no matter how loving you are, and now no matter how much he loves you. No one can suffer that abuse. No one can be your savior. You have to save yourself. You cannot look at your spouse as if as if they are your savior. You can't do it because they have to save themselves. And when you save yourself, and when he or she save themselves, then y'all can build something magical because it will be based on healed hearts and not trauma bonding. Not because your wounds are just like mine. Oh, your mama didn't love you either. Okay, so let's come over here and let's try and figure out what love is, even though we don't know what it looks like, okay? And you don't know that part because you haven't taken the time to sit still. You haven't taken the time. That is divine timing. Divine timing, God hears everything that we want. God hears everything that our hearts desire. We don't even have to speak it out into existence. We can think it. We can feel it. And God feels it too. He's connected. She's connected. Our ancestors are all connected. The spirit realm is connected. Whatever you consider the spirit to be. Do atheists believe in a spirit? I don't know. Do they? What do they believe in? What do atheists believe? Do they believe that there's like I probably would understand an atheist if they even said that they believed in extraterrestrials. Then I'd be like, oh, okay, okay, you know. But do they even believe in that? Do they believe in anything? I don't know. Okay, that was a little. But anywho, whatever you believe in, we're connected. I'm connected to you. It doesn't matter if you see this video 20 years from now. I am connected to you. I knew energetically that you would be at that space, that time, at that moment, and need to hear something that I said. I don't know what. Only you can decipher that. You, God, and your ancestors and your spirit guides, because you have them too. You have them. You have them. We all came here with them if you have a soul. And I have to say that because on this journey, I've come to realize that everybody doesn't have a soul. My empathic behind used to be like, oh, I see your light. I didn't care how dim it was. I could see you cheat on your husband, beat your children, uh, do dirt on your job. I could see you do all of that, but I still see the good in you. Isn't that crazy? That's what empaths do. That's who you are. If that's what you see, because you're looking at demons, but you see the light. You see the light. But it doesn't matter if you see their light. They have to see their own light. And so they can follow it and find who they are truthfully. Okay? But that's what divine timing is. God makes sure he will give us everything we ask for. Oh, we will get everything we ask for. Okay? Sometimes God gives us things that we ask for and we're not prepared, so we can understand what it is. And so the next time it come around, we won't lose it. But 9 times out of 10, given the state of everybody who want, are you ready for what you're asking for? And I had to be truthful and honest with myself, because the man I'm asking for wouldn't have dealt with what I was going through. Hell, I had a hard time dealing with what I was going through. How would I have expected anybody else on the outside of me to deal with what I wasn't even willing or prepared to even face? That's a message for you. There's always a lesson in my confession. I speak about my experiences because I remember them vividly and I wrote them down. And it was for a reason. And you guys are the reason. You guys are the reason. I thought it was the people that I grew up around and what I considered to be my community. But community is not just where you were raised. Get that type of limited thinking out of your mind. It used to just amaze me when I met people where they lived at, because of course I traveled, and they tell me they never even left their space. Like they don't even go into the city, that like they live in the suburbs and they never been to Atlanta. That was like mind-boggling to me. I can't even imagine living like that. But I couldn't even imagine living how I was living now that I know how I was living. Don't let that go over your head. I didn't know that. Remember when I said in one of my other videos, you don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it. You see how that works? You really don't. And it has to be some sort of epiphany, or somebody has to introduce it, or God needs to have serendipity. And I don't believe in coincidence. So if you're walking down the street and you see a billboard or a car pass you by and on the license plate say such and such, take that as a message. Okay? Divine timing. You have to meet your desires. You can't be low vibrational and wanting high vibrational stuff. Money is high vibrational. It really is. Money is high vibrational, because more money, more problems. Okay? So if we are all in a low vibrational state and we are doing low vibrational things, but yet we trying to call in our abundance, it's not going to happen, because then we'll squander our abundance. We'll squander it. Because if we got the little bit of money that we got now, we can't even handle the problems that we have now, what do you think is going to happen when you have millions of dollars? It's going to be tier level demons coming at that neck. Tier level. Okay? Divine timing. And I'm learning that. So I just had that epiphany in the bathroom, and I was like, okay, before it escaped my head, and y'all watched it almost escape my freaking head. Y'all watched it. But I called it back in. And now I'm about to go soak in my beautiful tub on this rainy day, but it's still a gorgeous day and I love it. I may make some chili today. Perfect. Ooh, I think I am going to make some chili today. Or maybe I'll wait until tomorrow. I don't know. Divine timing, my loves. If you are still going through it, it's because there's some lessons you have to learn. And listen, the lessons that I've learned, like this one I'm telling y'all, it only came because I'm sitting still, and it didn't come by choice. So I'm giving y'all these messages so y'all can do it by choice. So whenever you come across this message, know that the answer is to sit still. And what does that mean? Don't do anything. Don't go nowhere. Don't call nobody. Maybe read a book. Okay? Maybe journal. And then even don't do that. Lay on the bed. Lay on the bed. I lay on the bed and look out the window. That's what I do. Or I go sit outside and I sit down and I don't take my phone with me. I don't do anything. I just sit and let my mind do whatever it's going to do. Okay? That's what divine timing means. Divine timing is when your efforts, your healing meets God's timing. Because he knows when we're healed and we are deserving and when we know. And I say he because that's what I'm accustomed to saying, but you guys already know that I've said that God is a woman. There's no doubt in my mind that God is a woman. God is a woman. Create. Men support. They can't create. Men can't create. They can build. They can't create. And so over all of these last 400 some years, the men that have been creating have actually been stealing the gifts of the women in their lives, okay? Namaste, Ashe, Mazel Tov.